Welcome to today's deep dive,
Yeah.
where we're going to be looking at,
Oh, this is a good one.
yeah,
I like this one.
this idea that playing it safe
Yeah,
might actually be the riskiest move of all.
it is, isn't it?
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and we're going to be dissecting this concept
Uh,
using a really thought-provoking Medium article.
okay.
It's called
Right.
No Risk, No Story, Embracing Uncertainty for Unprecedented Success.
I love that title.
I know.
That's great.
It really grabs you.
It does.
It's powerful.
Yeah, and this article, it really digs deep into the philosophy behind risk-taking.
Yeah.
Not just like the why, but
Yeah.
like the how has it been sort of this
Totally.
secret sauce in so many remarkable success stories.
Yeah, one of the most striking points I think the article makes is that our comfort zones actually shrink.
Really?
The more we try to avoid risk.
Hmm.
It's like we're trading this vast landscape of possibilities
Right.
for this tiny, well-trodden path.
Yeah, it's such a powerful image, too,
I know.
to think about.
Yeah.
It makes you think about all those experiences and growth that we might be missing out on by sort of staying within those self-imposed.
Totally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the article actually goes on to argue
Okay.
that this avoidance of risk might actually be the biggest risk of all.
Wow.
And think about it, by constantly choosing the safe option,
Right.
we're essentially choosing a life of missed opportunities.
Yeah, like we're forfeiting the
Yeah.
game before it even begins.
Totally. Yeah.
But isn't there a difference between like calculated risk and just recklessness?
Yeah, that's a great question.
How does the article address that?
Well, it's not saying to just throw caution to the wind
Right.
and make all these impulsive decisions.
Right.
It's encouraging us to redefine our relationship with risk,
Okay.
to see it not as a threat, but as a catalyst for growth and a pathway to achieving some truly remarkable things.
So it's about shifting our mindset from fear to possibility,
Exactly.
from seeing risk as something to be avoided to seeing it as an opportunity
I've
for
argued.
expansion.
That's it. That's the point.
Yeah.
And they use all these fascinating examples to illustrate this point.
Okay.
It talks about entrepreneurs,
Uh-huh.
explorers, scientists who all achieved just incredible things
Yeah.
because they were willing to embrace uncertainty
Right.
and venture beyond the familiar.
Can you give us a specific example?
Yeah.
I'm always captivated by these stories of people who kind of defied the odds
Yeah.
to achieve something truly groundbreaking.
Well, one example that really stood out to me was Elon Musk.
Okay.
The article highlights how he risked his entire fortune,
Yeah.
not just once,
Oh, gosh.
but multiple times
Wow.
to pursue his ambitions.
Wow.
His visions for SpaceX and Tesla.
Right.
These weren't just calculated risks. They were leaps of faith,
Wow.
driven by this deep belief in his goals
Yeah.
and an unwavering commitment
Mm-hmm.
to pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It makes you wonder how different the world would be
Doesn't it?
if he had played it safe,
Totally.
if he'd stayed within the confines of his comfort zone.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is, yeah.
And his story isn't unique.
Right.
The article is full of examples
Yeah.
of individuals
Uh,
who achieved extraordinary things
yeah.
by daring to take these risks that other people thought were too dangerous
Right.
or even foolish,
Uh-huh. Yeah, it seems like a recurring theme is this idea of aligning our risks with our passions
Yes.
and our desire to make a meaningful impact.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about personal gain or achieving success
Right.
for the sake of success. It's
Yeah.
about aligning our actions
Wow.
with our purpose
Mhm.
and using risk as a tool
Right.
to create a life that truly matters.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And that's where I think the article's message becomes truly inspiring.
Yeah.
It's not just some treatise on risk management.
Right.
It's a call to action,
Ugh.
to live a life of intention,
Yeah.
courage,
Yeah.
and impact.
That's a really powerful message, and I think it's resonating with me already.
Yeah.
It makes me want to take a closer look at my own life
Yeah.
and think about the areas where I'm holding back,
Absolutely.
maybe out of fear or uncertainty.
Yeah.
So I think we've laid a great foundation in this first part,
We have.
exploring the core message of the article
For sure.
and why risk-taking is so crucial for growth and fulfillment.
Totally. Now let's move on
Okay.
to unpacking the different types of rewards that they highlight.
Okay.
Because it goes far beyond just achieving external success.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's jump in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So welcome back to our deep dive into no risk, no story.
Yeah.
We've been talking about how avoiding risk
What?
can actually be the biggest risk of all.
It's true.
Really kind of limiting our potential for growth
Uh-huh.
and those like extraordinary achievements.
You know when we were talking about Elon Musk and
Yeah,
his ventures
right.
before the break, it really got me thinking about the different ways that risk can kind of show up in our lives.
For sure.
It's not always about like launching a rocket into space, right?
It's true. The article does a great job, I think,
Yeah.
of highlighting just the diverse nature of risk-taking.
Yeah.
It's not just about like financial risks or entrepreneurial endeavors.
Right.
It can be about like pushing our creative boundaries,
Uh-huh.
challenging social norms,
Yeah.
or even just like speaking up for what we believe in,
Right.
even when it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah. It seems like the common thread there is this willingness to step outside of our comfort zones,
It is.
regardless of the specific area or context.
Abs-
And one of the things that I found so compelling about this article
Yeah.
was its exploration of the rewards that kind of lie beyond
Yes.
those conventional measures of success.
Yeah.
It really dives into
Yeah.
those intangible benefits that come from
Yeah.
embracing uncertainty
Right.
and challenging ourselves.
It does.
And we often hear about like
Mhm.
the importance of taking risks to achieve our goals,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
what about like those internal shifts
Ugh.
and personal growth that happen along the way?
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I think the article really shines.
Yeah.
It emphasizes the transformative power of risk-taking on a personal level.
Uh-huh.
It argues that every time we kind of push ourselves
Yeah.
beyond our perceived limitations,
Yeah.
we gain this deeper understanding
Mm-hmm.
of our own capabilities
Yeah.
and resilience.
It's like we're constantly expanding.
I know, it's so cool, right? It's
Yeah.
like this internal map
Yeah.
of what's possible.
Yeah, and that process of self-discovery is
Oh.
incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
It allows us to kind of shed limiting beliefs.
Totally.
And tap into this wellspring of courage and
Mhm.
determination that we might not have even known we possessed.
It's true.
Yeah, and I can see how that could create this ripple effect
Yeah.
in all areas of life.
Right.
If we're willing to take risks in one area, it might give us the confidence to step outside of our comfort zones in other areas as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The article suggests that risk-taking
Okay.
is like a muscle that gets stronger
Okay.
with each challenge we overcome.
Uh-huh.
It's about building that internal resilience
Yeah.
that allows us to navigate uncertainty with greater ease
Yeah.
and grace.
So it's not just about achieving specific outcomes.
Right.
It's about developing this mindset that embraces challenges as opportunities for growth.
It is. And they highlight this fascinating study
Okay.
that found that people who actively seek out new experiences.
And
Huh.
challenges actually report
Yeah.
higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like we're wired for growth and expansion.
Oh, yeah.
When we're embracing challenges,
Kinda.
we're tapping into that innate drive
It's true.
to learn and
Yeah.
evolve and become the best versions of ourselves.
You've got it.
Yeah.
The article argues that by constantly seeking comfort and security,
Right?
we're actually depriving ourselves
Yeah.
of the richness and depth that life really has to offer.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's in those moments of discomfort,
Uh-huh.
those leaps into the unknown,
Yeah.
that we truly discover who we are
Right.
and what we're capable of.
There's that saying, right?
What is it?
A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor.
I love that.
We need those ways. We need those challenges
We do.
to hone our skills and to develop our resilience.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And they also kind of delve into the specific rewards
Okay.
that come from embracing uncertainty.
And one of the most profound, I think, is that sense of accomplishment and self-efficacy
Right.
that comes from overcoming challenges
Uh-huh.
and achieving goals that once seemed out of reach.
It's that feeling of, wow, I actually did that.
Yes.
That sense of pride
Mm-hmm.
and confidence
Yeah.
that comes from knowing that we pushed ourselves beyond our perceived limits.
You got it.
And that can be so addictive in a positive way.
It is, isn't it? It really is.
It fuels our desire to keep growing,
Right.
keep learning,
Yeah.
and keep pushing those boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely.
So it seems like the rewards of risk-taking are multifaceted.
Totally.
It's not just about achieving
All
this
right.
external success,
Yeah.
but it's about cultivating a really deep sense of self-belief
Yes.
and this unwavering confidence in our ability to navigate
Right.
whatever life throws our way.
You've beautifully articulated the
Yeah.
heart of it. The article really emphasizes that the true rewards of risk-taking lie in those internal shifts
Yeah.
that occur as we embrace uncertainty
Right.
and step outside of our comfort zones.
It's about cultivating that inner strength and resilience
Yeah.
that allows us to face challenges with courage and determination,
Uh-huh.
knowing that we have the capacity to overcome them and emerge even stronger on the other side.
And that brings us to another crucial point,
Okay.
that they raise
Yeah.
the importance of reframing our relationship
Oh, yeah.
with failure.
I was hoping we'd get to that.
Yeah,
Fear of failure is often cited as the biggest obstacle to taking risks.
for sure.
How does the article address that?
They challenge us to see failure not as like a setback,
Okay.
but as like an inherent part of the growth process.
Okay.
They encourage us to embrace
Uh-huh.
those missteps and stepbacks as valuable learning experiences
Right.
that inform our future choices and actions.
So it's about shifting our perspective from seeing failure as like a destination
Totally.
to seeing it as like a detour,
Yeah,
a temporary bend in the road that ultimately leads us
exactly.
to what we're meant to be.
Yeah, and the article highlights all these stories of countless successful individuals
Yeah.
who faced numerous setbacks and failures
Right.
along their journeys.
Uh-huh.
And those failures didn't define them.
Right.
They fueled their determination,
Uh-huh.
and they provided invaluable lessons
Right.
that ultimately contributed to their success.
I'm thinking of J.K. Rowling,
Yeah.
whose first Harry Potter book was rejected by multiple publishers before finding a home and becoming a global phenomenon.
Totally.
Imagine if she had given up after the first few rejections.
I know.
Yeah.
Her story is a testament to the power of perseverance
Uh-huh.
and the importance of viewing failure not as a sign of defeat,
Right.
but as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and refine our approach.
So it seems like the article is encouraging us
Yeah.
to cultivate a growth mindset
Yes.
where we embrace challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning and development
Exactly.
rather than allowing them to derail our progress.
You got it.
It's about adopting a mindset that views failure not as a reflection of our worth or ability,
Yeah.
but as a valuable data point
Right.
that helps us course correct
Totally.
and make more informed decisions in the future.
Love that.
So instead of asking ourselves, what if I fail?
Right.
Maybe we should be asking, what can I learn from this experience?
Uh,
How can I use this setback to refine my approach and get closer to my goals?
that's a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
And it's a reminder that the stories we tell ourselves about failure
Yeah.
can either empower us
Uh-huh.
or limit us.
It's true.
So why not choose the stories that inspire growth and resilience?
This conversation is already having a profound impact
Yeah.
on my own thinking.
It is powerful stuff.
I'm starting to see risk-taking not just as like a means to an end,
Uh-huh.
but as a valuable process in and of itself.
Totally.
This journey of self-discovery and growth
It is.
that has the potential to enrich our lives
Right.
in countless ways.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that embracing risk
Yeah.
doesn't have to mean making these drastic changes overnight.
Right.
It's about taking small,
Uh.
consistent steps
Yeah.
outside of our comfort zones,
Okay.
gradually expanding our capacity for uncertainty
Right.
and building that muscle of courage.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about incorporating those small acts of courage into our daily lives.
Yeah.
Whether it's trying a new activity
Yeah.
or speaking up in a meeting or
Okay.
pursuing a creative endeavor that's
Yeah.
been lingering in the back of our minds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about making that conscious choice
Uh-huh.
to step outside of those well-worn grooves
Right.
of our routines
Yeah.
and embrace those exhilarating possibilities
Yeah.
that lie beyond the familiar.
This deep dive has been incredibly insightful so far.
It has.
We've explored the philosophy behind risk-taking,
Yeah.
the diverse ways it can manifest in our lives,
Uh-huh.
and the profound rewards
Right.
that lie beyond those conventional measures of success.
Absolutely.
But we've
Yeah.
covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But there's one more crucial aspect, I
Yeah.
think, that we need to delve into
Okay.
before we wrap up.
Okay.
And that's those practical strategies
Yeah.
for cultivating a mindset that embraces uncertainty
Mm-hmm.
and empowers us to take those courageous leaps
I love it.
into the unknown.
That's what it's all about.
Welcome back to our deep dive into No Risk, No Story.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm
Yeah.
feeling super inspired
Oh, me too.
to like inject a little more risk-taking into my life after these discussions.
It's powerful stuff, right?
It is.
As we kind of transition from the why of risk-taking to the how,
Uh-huh.
it's important to remember that, like,
Yeah.
embracing uncertainty doesn't require these grand,
Right.
sweeping gestures.
You're right. It can feel really overwhelming if we think we need to make huge life changes all at once.
All at once.
So where do we start? What are some practical strategies for cultivating this risk-taking mindset in our everyday lives?
Well, the article suggests a simple but powerful approach. You know, start small and be consistent.
Okay.
It's like building any new habit. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon without first, like, putting in the miles.
Right.
You know?
So what are some, like, risk-taking miles that we can start logging?
The one strategy that they highlight is to, like, actively seek out opportunities.
Okay.
To step outside our comfort zones, but in, like, low-stakes situations. You know, it's about, like, intentionally creating those stretch experiences that challenge us, but in, like, manageable ways.
Could you give us some examples of what those might look like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like, think about the things you habitually avoid.
Okay.
Out of, like, fear or discomfort. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's networking events. Or even just, like, trying a new cuisine.
For me, it's definitely asking for what I want in both my personal and professional life. I tend to shy away from those conversations because I'm afraid of rejection.
That's a common one.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of a low-stakes risk that can have a huge impact on your life.
Yeah.
What if instead of avoiding those conversations, you challenge yourself to have just one this week?
It feels much less daunting than like completely overhauling my approach to those types of situations.
Exactly. And I imagine it still takes courage, though, to kind of push past that initial resistance.
Yeah, it does.
But that's where the consistency part comes in.
Right. Yeah.
The more we practice stepping outside our comfort zones, even in small ways, the easier it becomes.
Right.
We start to rewire our brains to see uncertainty not as a threat, but as an invitation to grow.
So it's about building that muscle of courage, one small act at a time.
Exactly. And the article also suggests, like, creating a risk-taking challenge for yourself.
Okay.
Choose a specific area where you want to stretch your comfort zone, and then set a series of, like, small, achievable goals that gradually increase the level of challenge.
I love that idea.
That's good.
It provides structure and accountability. Which can be really helpful when we're trying to establish new habits.
And don't forget to celebrate those small wins along the way. Acknowledging our progress, no matter how incremental.
Right.
It helps to reinforce those positive associations with risk-taking.
It's like giving ourselves a pat on the back for being courageous.
Yeah, and that positive reinforcement can be incredibly motivating as we continue to, like, push ourselves further.
You know, another thing that I think often holds people back from taking risks.
What's that?
Is the fear of judgment from others.
Oh, yeah.
What advice does the article offer for dealing with that?
It reminds us that most of the time, those fears are based on, like, our own insecurities and projections, not on reality. You know, the truth is, most people are so caught up in their own lives that they're not paying nearly as much attention to our perceived flaws or missteps as we think they are.
It's so easy to get caught up.
Isn't it?
Yeah, in that inner critic.
Totally.
And overestimate the scrutiny that we're under.
And even if someone does judge us, it ultimately says more about them than it does about us.
Right.
Their judgments are often rooted in their own fears and limitations.
So it's about recognizing that we can't control other people's opinions,
Right.
but we can control how much weight we give them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The article encourages us to focus on our own internal compass, our own values and aspirations, rather than seeking validation from external sources.
It's about staying true to our own path, even if it means deviating from the expectations of others.
And remember, true courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action despite the fear.
Right.
You know, it's about acknowledging those uncomfortable feelings, but choosing to move forward anyway because we know that the potential rewards outweigh the risks.
That's such a powerful message.
It is.
It's a reminder that growth and transformation often occur.
Thank you.
on the other side of our comfort zones.
They do. And as we wrap up our deep dive into no risk, no story, I want to leave you with this thought.
Okay.
What is one small risk you can take today to nudge yourself outside of your comfort zone?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be monumental.
Right.
It could be as simple as like striking up a conversation with a stranger, trying a new activity, expressing your creativity in a way you haven't before.
That's a fantastic challenge. Yeah. And remember, every step you take, no matter how small, is a step towards a more fulfilling and extraordinary life.
And that's what we want, right?
That's what we want.
That's the goal. We hope this deep dive has inspired you to embrace uncertainty, unlock your potential, and create a story that's uniquely your own.
I love it.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everyone.